Manipur is in crisis. Tripura in flux. Mizoram faces huge challenges. There's a poll boycott in Nagaland. A major militant group has just walked out of talks with the state government in Meghalaya. Political tensions are running high in Assam. All this while China continues to provoke India in Arunachal. To put it straight, India's 7 sister states are tense. As the big elections to decide India's next leader approaches, Northeast remains on a knife's edge. And Indian security forces and election commission have plenty of challenges to deal with.
चुनावों में हिंसा का कोई स्थान होना नहीं चाहिए और ब्लड बाथ बिल्कुल नहीं होना चाहिए। जहां भी हिंसा बची है, चाहे वो प्री पोल हो, चाहे वो ड्यूरिंग कैंपेनिंग हो, चाहे वो पोस्ट पोल हो, वी आर कमिटेड टू काइंड ऑफ बी वेरी वेरी अलाइव टू दिस सिचुएशन और जो भी हमें सख्ती से करना होगा इसके लिए हम करेंगे ताकि ये प्रोविजन ना रहे।
The Election Commission of India on March 16th announced the dates for the biggest democratic showdown in the world. The Indian poll panel clearly warned anyone attempting to cause troubles before, during, or after voting. The Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar highlighted the 3 challenges in conducting polls across states. They are Manipur, violence, and geography.
3400 करोड़ रुपए के करीब का कैश मूवमेंट को रेस्ट्रिक्ट किया गया 11 इलेक्शन में। एवरी स्टेट, राजस्थान, तेलंगाना, मध्य प्रदेश, नागालैंड, गुजरात, हिमाचल, मिजोरम, त्रिपुरा, छत्तीसगढ़. Some states have more violence, some states have more money, some states are more kind of a geographical problems. So whichever problem pertains to a particular state, based on this differential analysis, we would be having a differential level of treatment for that state.
Manipur has the amalgamation of all the 3 problems. The state was among the top in terms of money recoveries in the previous elections. There's little more that needs to be said about the Kuki-Methi ethnic violence raging on in the northeast state for the past 1 year. And the hills and valleys remain a challenge for the Indian security forces. In Mizoram, right next to the violence-hit state of Manipur, the problems are multifold. The Mizoram People's Movement, led by Laldu Homa, a former congressman, has nearly wiped out the Grand Old Party from the state. The BJP, yes, has made inroads, but there is still ways to go for the Saffron Party to actually challenge Mizoram status quo. The biggest problem for the border state is that of refugees from Myanmar. The brutalities inflicted by the junta regime has forced thousands, if not millions, of Myanmar's ethnic people to flee across the border. India and Myanmar share a 1,643-kilometer largely unfenced border that runs across the 4 states of Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, and Arunachal. Many in Manipur, Mizoram, and Nagaland share deep familial ties with those across the border and had readily opened their doors to the initial refugees. The problem began when Myanmar's problematic export just wouldn't stop. Problems in Manipur worsened by the illegal influx from Myanmar into Mizoram and other northeast states. Reports suggest that among the people actually looking for peaceful existence, There are drugs and weapon smugglers and militants and other antisocial elements. The largely porous nature of the border means Indian security forces have a huge challenge during the polls, which is to ensure militants do not disrupt the democratic processes. In Tripura, the Tiprasa issue raised by Pradyot Debbarma was quickly dealt with by the BJP. The erstwhile Tripura king had called for an indefinite hunger fast with the Lok Sabha elections just around the corner. The Tipramotha chief had demanded rights for Tripura's indigenous people. After one meeting with Amit Shah in Delhi, the Tipramotha joined hands with NDA in Tripura. With this, Tripura's two largest parties in terms of assembly seats got onto an alliance, threatening the wipeout of Congress and the left. Even as Saffron alliance strengthened in Tripura, concerns were raised. Can the centre really fulfill the Tiprasa demands? The tribals have sought ownership rights for the land they have lived in for generations. The problem is, the land is mostly protected forest land. Then, of course, there is Nagaland, another northeast state with its demands unfulfilled for decades now. The emotions have spilled over finally. A boycott call against polling has been issued in eastern Nagaland. The Eastern Nagaland People's Organization has even written to the Election Commission warning that people have decided to abstain from voting. Their big demand? Creation of a frontier Naga territory. 6 eastern districts of Nagaland have sought for a separate state for long, citing lack of development. This region makes up for 30% of the state's population and 20 out of 60 of its assembly seats. It is accepted as a fact almost that Eastern Nagaland lags behind compared to the rest of the state. Now, while the challenges are aplenty, India's Election Commission is not the one to back down.
हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में एक कंट्रोल रूम बनाया गया जो दिन उसमें 5 किस्म के फीड्स होंगे, टीवी, सोशल मीडिया, वेबकास्टिंग विच इज ऑन दी बूथ्स, 1950 की लाइन जिससे शिकायत आती है, एंड ग्रीवेंसेस पोर्टल. So one senior officer would be available in the control rooms in every district to look at these 5 feeds. जहां से भी, और सी विजिल, 6th सी विजिल, जहां से भी कोई शिकायत मिलेगी उस पर सख्त कार्रवाई की जाएगी. Everywhere across the country.
The 7 sisters make up for 25 Lok Sabha seats, all of which would have voted by the 3rd phase of polling on 7th of May. For the BJP, the 4th of June will reveal whether its northeast strategy scripted by its general in Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma, actually paid off or not. For the Congress and the anti-Modi alliance, it is almost a battle of relevance now against a dominating Saffron army and the Third Front regional powers.